Before I start reading that, let's go back. All right, let's go. Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what we're doing now. This is why you're all here. Okay. Wow. It's been a crazy week for Nightmare on Elm Street, right, guys? It's been a crazy week for Nightmare on Elm Street. Cats and dogs were living together. Okay, people were losing their freaking minds. How dare you? You know. And I think I got the picture here. Hold on, let me show you. I got the picture here. Let's start with this, all right? Because this is what started it all. All right, I have it. Don't worry. I did my homework. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. The V-Scooper. That poor guy. Jesus. Did he think that 8,000 people were going to freaking retweet his post? And I know that the V-Scooper hasn't been around that long on Twitter. And I don't know who the V-Scooper is, okay? I heard about this because one of you guys retweeted it, okay? You know who you are. Somebody in there did it. You know you did it. You retweet. You saw it. You retweet. One of you was probably the first to do it, all right? And then people just like grabbed it. And you know what? I'm not going to blame V-Scooper. He didn't retweet it. He just posted it, okay? And you know what, guys? Maybe V-Scooper knows something that we still don't know, right? And maybe V-Scooper was drunk and high as a fucking kite one night. And he said, click, fuck it. I'm going to do a backflip right now. I don't care. All right. I'm going to post this and I'm going to go jump off a cliff. V-Scooper might have did that. He might have wanted to piss off the world. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Okay. Maybe that's what V-Scooper was doing. All right. But maybe V-Scooper does know something that we all don't know. Who knows? Maybe V-Scooper has a freaking nephew that works with his uncle that that was Robert Evans' freaking nephew, and they had a sleepover. That doesn't sound right. And then something happened, and Freddy Krueger got involved, and then Bob Shea got on the horn. I don't know. Something. A breadcrumb was presented. Okay, guys? That's what happened. It started with a breadcrumb, and here we are with the V-Scooper post. And why did it get retweeted 948 times? I don't know, okay? Somebody thought V-Scooper was reputable. I want a movie about V-Scooper. Fuck Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to know the story behind V-Scooper. This is like the Pamela and Tommy Lee tape, all right? And how that spread. Why did this happen? I need a drink. Jesus. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, to bring up Critical Overlord knows more than most of us, okay? He gets scoops on stuff. Let's talk about sources, all right? Let's talk about sources first, all right? Hold on. Sources come in all shapes and sizes, all right? And I think you have to do your homework when you have a source. And I would even say Critical Overlord is one of those guys that he constantly does his homework on these things. He puts in more hours researching this stuff than anybody I know. So, the thing about sources is not every source is going to be right every time, 100% of the time. Even like the biggest, even Bloody Disgusting, they might get shit wrong. It happens. But I think the big thing here with V-Scooper is nobody really knew who V-Scooper was. You know? How legit he was. But I know that from his previous history, he has reported on some things that did happen. Okay? And so the point I'm trying to make here is you might have a source that is right 90% of the time or 95% of the time, you know, or 75% of the time. You know, sometimes these things are just rumors. So you just got to be careful about how you report that information. You know, does that mean if there's a 75% chance that something is happening, you know, somebody knows something's going on, something's fluttering behind the scenes. Is it okay to report it to the public? And I'm not saying yes or no to that question. It might not be okay to report to the public. It depends on who knows it, who wants it out there, you know. But I think it just depends on how you report it. Like Critical Overlord, if he has a video that's just a rumor, then that's what he's going to put in parentheses. He's going to put rumor. I think the audience should know that, okay? Now, don't get upset and don't get mad at me if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't pan out. These things, they happen all the time, okay? But for some reason, when this guy posted this thing, the internet went crazy. And what does that mean? What does that mean? It means one thing, guys, okay? At the end of the day, it means one thing. You know what that thing is? We want a new Nightmare movie. So if anything, maybe this ruffled some feathers. Because I guarantee you some people up on high, they know about the V-Scooper. Maybe the V-Scoopers was a plant all along to get this ball rolling. Because the ball hasn't been rolling forever, okay? Critical Over says, I dropped never before seen Jeepers Creepers cathedral images and exposed Lucas Adams as Derry Jenner. Laugh out loud. Yeah. He reports on so many different horror properties, and he's doing great work for the horror community, you know, getting the word out there. And his track record, I'm talking about Critical Overlord, more times than not, it happens, okay? So if Critical Overlord reports something on V-Scooper, then he probably knows something that I don't know or you don't know. You know, but at the end of the day, is it 100%? No, it's just a rumor. Okay. But again, this really raised awareness to how important the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is. Okay. So then we get this update the day later. Okay. One Take News is a much more reliable. They just have a better track record. They've been around longer. You know, more established, right? Multiple sources. I can't read that because it's too small. Basically, what they're saying is that the Nightmare franchise is not going to Blumhouse. Without reading that, Nightmare franchise, as of now, is not going to Blumhouse. But does that mean that it will never go to Blumhouse? No. You know, don't be surprised if 6 months down the road, Jason Blum's making this post. Okay, it's official. We have the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. There's still meetings going on, probably on a weekly basis about this thing. You know, right now, more than likely, Nightmare is not in any studio's hands 100%. Okay, or it could be. Who knows? But right now, there's some red tape being worked out, and it's not time, okay? It'll present itself when it needs to. Now, one thing I was thinking about this, though, the report was that this was going to be a requel, okay? A requel. And, hey, thank you, Lucas. Let me read this real quick. Lucas Griffin, he says, I'm working out right now, so I'm missing a lot. I think Tara should be the character behind everything in Scream 7. Thanks, Lee. Love that I'm catching what I'm catching of the stream. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people that they want Tara to go bad. I don't. I like Tara good. I want Sam to go bad, I think, actually. You know? But, yeah. So, anyway, regarding Nightmare, do you guys want this to be a requel? Because I think Robert Englund himself said a few months ago that he's done just because he's too old. You know, he can't really play the character anymore. Now, I know Jason Blum has stated that he could get Robert Englund to do it. You know, he has a way with talent, making them feel safe. And, you know, what do you guys think? Would you want Robert Englund to come back? Or are you ready for somebody new? Okay, and we constantly hear Kevin Bacon. Yeah, Kevin Bacon could work, but Kevin Bacon's pretty up there in age too. If they're gonna, I want a new Nightmare franchise. I want a trilogy. Okay, I wouldn't mind them starting fresh with some new talent. If I'm being honest, I mean Robert Englund was pretty fresh. Yeah, he did a lot of TV, he did V and stuff like that. But you know, Nightmare pretty much made him a star, a bankable name. You knew his name, right? So I would like an unknown, a really great actor to take on the role of Freddy. I think Robert Englund, as much as I would love to see him back in the role, I don't know if I really want a requel movie. You know? Could it be great? Yeah, I think it could be great. But if I had my choice, I don't think I want a requel movie. If I'm being honest, I'd like a fresh start, you know? Maybe learn some lessons from the remake. Maybe the remake was too dark, right? So I think they just need to find a balance, and I think they need a really good script. And you had like this stuff right here. You know, I held on to this tweet. Mike Flanagan put me in coach. I got a pitch. The guy has a story, you know? And I didn't read what that story was, but I know Mike Flanagan, I know he wants in the game. He wants to make a Freddy movie. And guys, can you imagine a Mike Flanagan Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Why are we saying no? I don't get this at all. The guy is one of the best horror filmmakers working today. Makes great TV, makes great movies. Why we're not letting this guy make a Nightmare movie, I have no idea. He would really make it great. He would make it serious. He would make it edgy. And by the way, guys, I just rewatched parts 1 through 3. And I really soaked it in and watched it, you know, because I've done like D-watches of them. And when you're doing like a D-watch or even just a video, you're not really focusing in on the movie as much as you should. So these last 3 days, I just like really soaked them in. I wanted to really just delve deep in. So that way I could kind of decide, is Nightmare 3 the best of the 3? Because we all go back and forth, you know. Sometimes we say Nightmare 3 is the best. Sometimes we say 1. Hell, 2 is gaining such a cult following. I've seen some people come out and say 2's the best now. What do you guys think? Which one's the best? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3? My answer, I don't know. Because, and that's not a cop-out. I think it just depends on what you're in the mood for. If you want just your straight-up, dark Nightmare movie with Nancy in the beginning of it all, then you watch the first movie. If you want to think outside the box, do some really weird and crazy shit, completely different score, just a different tone, different vibe, and just the darkest, edgiest Freddy ever, you go with 2. If you want to just have a good time, but you still have a really great script, you got super strong characters, you got this great mental ward setting, psych ward, you know, then you go 3. That's the great thing about those first 3 Nightmare movies. They all 3 feel extremely different, and they're all, I think, great. Equally great. And I watched all 3 of them with my wife. This is the first time she'd really ever watched the Nightmare franchise, because we just went through all the Chucky movies a couple weeks ago. And one thing my wife found out about herself, she loves Chucky. She says, "Oh my God, that is a funny little fucker." And she always thought that Chucky was going to be the dumbest, stupidest freaking franchise ever. And I'm not a Chucky fanatic, but I know what Chucky is, and I like Chucky for what he is. But I thought for sure my wife would be like, "I can't watch this. We watched the first movie. She was like, "That was really fun." We watched the second movie. She was like, "Holy shit, I love this guy." You know, she loves Brad Dourif. She likes the way he's just an asshole, you know. So I thought she might have that idea with Freddy. And one thing I learned about the first 3 Freddy movies was Freddy's not in the movies that much. If you compare how much Chucky is to how much Freddy is in the movies, I didn't even realize. I think he's mostly in 3, of course. But in part 1 and 2, Freddy's not in the movies much at all. Very little. And maybe that's part of why he became such a big character, because he didn't overdo it. And I think maybe in the later movies, he just goes a little bit too over the edge. But maybe there's just too much of him. Maybe Freddy is better in small doses. Would you guys agree with that? As great of an actor as Robert Englund is, when you have him in small doses and he delivers those great lines, maybe it just works better, you know? So, yeah. So where do we stand right now with Nightmare? Nowhere. Like, we don't know. But I think things are happening behind the scenes. And I think we're going to find out sooner than later because of all this brouhaha. Now, are we in an echo chamber? I don't know. We could be. Maybe I'm making a big to-do out of nothing, you know? Maybe Joe Sixpack doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, okay? I don't know. We could be in an echo chamber, but people were freaking out. I mean, hell, look how many freaking retweets that guy got, the V Scooper, you know? So people, there's definitely an audience out there that is craving more Freddie, right? So yeah. What's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more, you can go over here, you can go over here, click on one of those, and yeah, hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.